Hello everybody, I'm Jane and as usual I'm so happy to welcome you on our YouTube channel. Usually we talk about a lot of different things regarding teaching English or learning English and even different ways how English teachers can realize their potential. And because of that, today we are going to bring up such a topic like requirements for becoming an ESL teacher. Before we start, let me remind you that this video is made for international certification. So if you want to know more about us, go to our website TEFL TESOL So in this video, we will dwell on a lot of different and important things that you should know if you want to become an ESL teacher. Firstly, we will figure out the meaning of this term. Of course, we will talk about duties and requirements for becoming an ESL teachers, and we follow 4 steps to help you to become one of them. If you are interested in it, keep watching. So firstly, let's try to discover the meaning of being an ESL teacher. So firstly, this kind of profession requires knowing a lot of different things, and then I will explain why. So firstly, you must be ready to teach English as a foreign language because your students will be from different countries around the world, especially from not English speaking countries. And because of that, you will have no opportunity to explain grammar or vocabulary in their mother tongue. However, it doesn't mean that you have to be a native speaker to do that as long as you have proficiency level of English. As you see, this kind of profession requires having a lot of different things and knowledge regarding teaching English because, as we have discussed, you will teach different people around the world and you must know how to manage your class, how to explain everything in a nutshell, and how to spark motivation in students' eyes. Of course, everything depends on your type of students. I mean, you must know different learning approaches because you will have to explain idioms, phrasal verbs through examples rather than translation. And of course, if you have no experience, I would like to tell you a secret that teaching adults is absolutely different in comparison with teaching children. So let's try to discover the duties of ESL teachers. And the first thing that I want you to understand is a perfect knowledge of English is not everything that you need to have in order to become a good ESL teacher. And then I will explain why. So firstly, while you are teaching English your class, you have to pay attention to different things. You have to notice your students' fossilized errors, their hobbies, their interests, and of course, their language skills. Needless to say that teaching is a changeable field, so you must catch on contemporary culture. And it's quite odd to ignore popular songs or movies using only old-fashioned course books. So understanding your students' interests and hobbies is the first step to getting along with them. Also, it will help you to find appropriate and relevant materials for your students because probably you remember that language acquisition is a difficult path, and that's why it's so important to sustain students' inspiration as long as possible. So, as an ESL teacher, you must prepare lesson plans, choose appropriate materials, adapt different tasks and topics, of course, check students' progress, and know how to use technology during your lessons. Also, don't forget to create and sustain a friendly environment for your students, stimulate communicative skills, of course, assign homework, and don't forget to take into account the cultural diversity of your class. I know there are a lot of things to do, however, don't worry about them because you will manage everything as long as you're helpful and patient. Also, let me tell you a little bit about personal traits because having them is the most important part. So, if you want to teach English in a secondary or high school, you should work not only your professional development but also on your self-improvement because it seems to be an energy-consuming work to understand your students' needs and their goals and also to help them to overcome some obstacles. Learning a foreign language isn't a simple task. That's why your students need your support and understanding. Usually people suffer from the language barrier due to the lack of self-confidence, and that's why you as an ESL teacher must raise their faith. So the majority of your class might be shy, whereas a few people in your class might be the life and soul of the party. So that's why you need to pay your attention to each student equally. That's why ESL teaching includes such personal traits as empathy, flexibility, resilience, time management, problem-solving skills, and compassionate curiosity. Let's go to qualifications of ESL teachers. Despite the fact that a bachelor's degree is a must-have in order to become an English tutor, it is not everything if you want to become an ESL teacher, because, as we have already discussed the duties of an average ESL teacher, they are almost countless, and you have a lot of things to do. So the first thing is to distinguish the difference between teaching adults and teaching children. So there are 4 important things that you have to take into account in order to become an ESL teacher: getting a degree, obtaining ESL training, getting a license, and teaching experience. A bachelor's degree is a necessity in order to start your career, and thankfully your major doesn't mean a lot, but if you know your purposes in advance, try to choose something like science in elementary education and arts in English. Because such knowledge may reduce your steps from 4 to 2, having a license and teaching experience. And if you have been thinking of learning another language, don't hesitate, because it will become your advantage among other candidates. However, if you consider teaching English the college community, you must have a master's degree. It will take about 2 years, but you will get such kind of knowledge regarding different learning approaches, learning disabilities, and how to make lesson plans. Teaching preparation includes a lot of knowledge regarding how to teach people from non-English speaking countries, and because of that, you shouldn't worry about your lack of self-confidence, practice, and other skills, because if your major has nothing to do with English at all, it's not a problem if you take up some courses. So it is believed that CELTA, TEFL, and TESOL are the most valuable certificates around the world. CELTA doesn't oblige you to have previous teaching experience or particular kind of skills, because this course will give you some kind of knowledge that will help you to improve your teaching skills in terms of theory and practice. However, you should know that this course will take all your free time, because the list of recommended literature is almost endless, and that's why a lot of people decide to take breaks during this course, because that's impossible to work. So usually CELTA costs about $1,200 and lasts from 4 to 8 months depending on the online or offline way. On the other hand, TEFL or TESOL course is much easier in comparison with CELTA in terms of effort and duration. For example, 120 hours of TEFL TESOL course is enough in order to get significant and important knowledge about learning difficulties and learning approaches. Also, this course will give you important information how to identify learners' problems. So in TEFL TESOL course, you will know information like how to manage your class, cultural diversity issues, how to help your students to overcome language barrier, and how to teach grammar and vocabulary, and how to improve your students' listening skills. So as you see, getting a TEFL TESOL course is way too cheaper and faster in comparison with CELTA, and because of that, don't miss an opportunity to enroll in online TEFL TESOL course and purchase it at 50% discount. Go to our website TEFLTESOLcertification.com to take this chance. When it comes to getting a license, such international certification doesn't guarantee that you get a position in an institution with ease, because such exams that you passed don't prove your ability to teach young learners. And because of that, it's challenging and it requires a lot of knowledge in art, social studies, and science. Licensure exam changes from country to country, however, this one is the most popular. You should research such requirements for your location. A lot of employers want to hire high qualified English teachers with a huge teaching experience, and it might be a problem for freshers. However, it's quite a negotiable thing. As long as you have a bachelor's degree and teaching certification, you can prove that you are a decent candidate. Use your creativity to find a way. For example, you can start volunteering program or become an assistant at school. Also, don't forget to ask for letters of recommendation, because they will help you a lot. Of course, you may have excellent knowledge of English and learning approaches. However, remember, only practice makes perfect. And if you still want to teach English abroad, there are different ways of how you can reduce your path towards it. For example, there are a lot of different countries which welcome inexperienced English teachers and even non-degree holders, but the one thing that you must have is TEFL ESOL certification to prove your teaching competence. Also, if you are not ready to sign up a one-year contract, there are different ways like summer and winter camps where you can get experience teaching kids for 3 months. And if you think of how to become an online ESL teacher, there are plenty of ways as well, because as long as distance education is popular, the demand for ESL tutors is growing. For example, you can teach Japanese children or adults sitting at home, and a lot of online schools provide so many benefits such as setting your own price, having your own schedule, and working on prepared materials. So if you want to become an ESL teacher, you should analyze your strengths and weaknesses and also things that you need to improve in order to become a perfect candidate. As you see, there are a lot of things that you have to take into account except fluent language. Managing class or making lesson plans might be exhausting, and that's why that's so important to figure out what type of students you are ready to teach. So I hope you found this video useful and valuable, and thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave your comments in the section below, and I'll see you the next time. Have a good day.